Similar to this, except it's horizontal in the Pompidou Center, in which in these paintings, he seems to get kind of a masaccio feeling to it. It's so strange. I don't know how he does that. I feel that he really gets the feeling of that woman sort of meditating there, like that. There's like, you really feel he's kind of something so deep about her, and it's so daring what he does. Look at her hair, and that's so difficult to do. He has the part in the hair, he has the light and the dark of the hair, but he really convinces me with that cap of hair and the pressure of those green flames sort of kissing it. And look what he does here with that very warm slit here, that little sliver of very vivacious, warm color that's on her neck here, or on her breast here. It's amazing. It's just, wow, what an opposition. And then he even dares to take this crazy light blue that he gets here, grayish blue, which is so high, really, and relates to the gray blues he gets down here. And he really gives you what happens with that nose. It's amazing power he gets there. And the change he gets from a cadmium red light to a darker kind of red that he gets over here. And the beautiful way he treated that dachshund. And then this marvelous vertical of the wine bottle, and then the dishes with their still life, the pieces of still life on it. A beautiful painting, and with great control. And as I say, there's kind of masaccio feeling to that. A slow, powerful uncoiling that he gets, which amazes me. I would like to move into the Cézanne room, and then I'm going to talk about the Van Goghs and everything, but I'd also like to take a rest. So maybe, if you don't mind, we can go into the Cézanne room, and then I can get some water and rest a second. But I'd like to go into the Cézanne room. Wires and everything else. Okay, I can start. This painting means so much to me. I've tried to sketch it how many times. I haven't been doing that many self-portraits recently, but I've done quite a few self-portraits, and I still have quite a few cooking away that aren't quite coming off, unfortunately. And I tell you, these self-portraits by Cézanne, they absolutely kill me. This reminds me, I know it's a bit later, it reminds me of that emotional feeling that Cézanne gets in the very early paintings that he did. I mean, the guy had so much temperament, he had so much moxie, so much like this, and he had such an exquisite feeling for color, and this feeling for a kind of Byzantine rhythm of form. Absolutely overwhelming. Now you look at that bald dome of his, and you see how, first of all, he draws like an angel. I mean, it is so difficult when you're drawing to really feel the sensation of how to construct a curve. I mean that. You look in the mirror, you look at the model fruit or whatever you're doing, and how do you do that? How do you feel like I start here and I do that, and then I do this, and then I do that, and then I come like that, and then I go, oh, what a diagonal. It's just amazing. You actually feel the timing, the velocity of his curve. It actually begins to curve before you. You're pulled along with it in space. It is amazing, his drawing. His drawing is just, and of course this marvelous angle here, an angle like that he gets here. You can see the Cubans going out of their nut looking at stuff like this. But then, look at what he does with the color. Look at that sort of brownish mixture he gets, which gets very intense here, and then he gets that light diagonal here, now, like that, and he gets a light here, and they separate, and you feel this light, and you feel that light, and you feel this dark thing with the hair here, and that. This is so difficult to get. Every time I get near my ears, I go out of my mind. How do I do it? Well, I go out of my mind here too. I don't know how to get this thing around the eyes. Giacometti in the film you saw the other day was absolutely right. How do you get this curve that comes around here? How do you get this whole eye socket? How do you get the gaze of the eye? Ooh, it drives you nuts. And the ear, which has to really screw firmly into your skull. How the devil do you do that? And Cézanne, you know, he gets this reddish, brownish thing. He gets the lobe here and that little interior red that he gets here. And he gets it here just so nicely in there. And then he comes down with this sort of forest of strokes with a beard, you know. He gets these blue grays. And then he looks again. Oh, that's sort of brown thing. Hey, and he's feeding the strokes like this. I feel the color here. I feel this piece of color. I feel that piece of color. I feel this. And then the light comes down in a brown thing, and it comes around here. Good Lord, that it begins to loom in front of you. It's, you know, it's absolute magic. And you get just the right density. We're looking at that little Soutine sketch downstairs. Look at the density that Cézanne gets with that reddish, orangey brown here, and that sort of snotty, greenish, iron grayish kind of thing here, and how he pulls those two colors and allows this color to release down here. And I'm sure Cézanne would come back to this and say, I gotta work more, you know, I gotta push more, you know. Rousseau, and there's where the naivete of Rousseau might come. He was no naive painter, he was a fantastic painter. But he went to this show, the sensational show of Cézanne, that Vollard gave Cézanne, he said, my God, I should finish all these paintings. I should finish all these paintings. I mean, but, oh, what a painter. Or this late figure by Cézanne, and all the anxiety of Cézanne shows there, how the guy's, you know, can you imagine posing for a guy like that? You know, he had Vollard sit at least 100 times, 100 sittings, you know. And Franz Hals, and by the way, I apologize. I was in bad shape when I got off the bus. I was very tired, and when I'm tired and I see a new show, I have to get with it, and I didn't get with it in time to talk to you. I went through the Franz Hals show today, and there are several paintings that I really got very interested in. I feel extremely guilty that I didn't talk to you. I really mean that. I feel very, very guilty about it, but I wasn't feeling that great, and what the hell can I say? That happened. But there were several paintings in that show that really are delicious to see, and I felt, oh my God, I didn't talk about this, I didn't talk about that. I was mainly Coppola to you. I'm very sorry about that. However, I was thinking, you know, Franz Hals was like Goya. He'd do a portrait in a day. And you can imagine, I don't know how many sittings that Hortense had for this, but I'm damn sure that Cézanne would still have her sitting, you know, if it could be possible, he'd still be working. And as you see this, again, you see the relation that he has to something very Byzantine. There was a show from Prague at the Guggenheim Museum at the same time of that lovely Brock show that Laurent lent so much to, that Les Maris put together. And in that show, there was a Cézanne portrait, which was so Byzantine. It was amazing. And when you look at these and you see how he begins to build these forms and sort of carve into things, it again reminds me of Byzantine art. There's no doubt of Byzantine painting. And you know, I can just see Cézanne sort of feeling this and really getting the configuration here that goes from her breast up to her shoulder, down like that around here, and then working this great mass here and getting that thing to sit here and pushing deep in space and getting the thing to come here. And he's still working, and he finally goes like this, and he puts a little blue, gray blue stroke on, bing! And he's doing this all the time. That's his petite sensation, this little thing like this, and then parallel to that, this. He's always feeling that, or feeling this, or feeling that. What a nice thing. What emotion he gets in this thing, how he pulls into this thing. I know I said Soutine had his quarrel with later Cézanne, but when I see late Cézannes like this, or the marvels that we saw at the museum this morning or yesterday, I must say I'm in love with them. I can't say a thing about it. I'd like to rest just a few minutes before we go on to the Van Goghs and the Braque, okay? Okay, just a few minutes. Talking about the small Braque. To me, it equals anything in that marvelous show at the Museum of Modern Art. And I really love that show. I was thrilled by that show. And I remember a particular Braque of a bowl of fruit from the Stockholm Museum. From the Stockholm Museum. That just was such a remarkable painting. And yet, when I look at this Braque, I don't think Braque regressed. I don't think he got soft. I don't think that I just think he kept growing as an artist, growing as a human being, and to me, this equals any of the great, marvelous Braques that are in that show, the Museum of Modern Art. And it goes perhaps further. It becomes a bit more personal. It becomes something in which you feel he's trying to grasp something about the identity of a compatier with a pear and a bunch of grapes and a flute and about that glass and the table in space. And he gets such a personal invention here, and it's so full of strength and subtlety. Talk about how he uses the darks. I mean, you know, there's something about the timbre of his black that he gets. Well, I don't know what the hell black that is. It's an awfully warm black, and it just seems to kiss and hold right against its contrast to the other colors. So he gets that black here, and he comes down here in that rhythm with the black, and he ends up down here. And then the lightest forms that he has are the light grays, which tweedledee-dum, tweedledee, ding, dum, like that. 1, 2, like that. And then streaming back here, the piece of music paper, and then another light plane coming back here. And of course, I forgot this beautiful plane here. So he's using the kind of rhythms that he developed in the papier-collé he did, which were so beautiful. He did some of the greatest collages. He's using those, and he's carrying the expressive possibilities further. He's no longer content with pasting pieces of paper on with the idea of the disjunct rhythm of these beautiful collages, but he wants to carry it further. He wants to go further in this adventure. And it's quite remarkable what he does with this form, and then these two forms, and then pulls back into two-tailed pieces like that. And then what he does with this sort of Naples gray, yellow, I don't know what the hell color it is here, but it's a weird, marvelous color, which has a warmth to it and an opacity to it, which is very much in contrast to the lighter kind of wash of these light grays that I just pointed out. So these light bluish lights that he achieves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here are contrasted against this obstinate, heavy, dragging quality of the color that he gets here, and that he picks up way up here in what looks like the top of a flute. And then these beautiful grays that he works, these dull olive greens, and that piece of brown. I mean, it's a masterpiece by Braque, absolute masterpiece.